Hi everybody, it's Liam, and this is chapter 3 of the D.N.Angel Fanfiction, and chapter 3 is called Feelings. Have you forgotten? The judge clearly asserted that all the ties associated to you are hereby disconnected, Daisuke retorted. Besides, I'm not going home with the likes of you. You're a cold-blooded murderer. This sentence made Dark nearly gasp. Catching himself quickly, he realized that Daisuke is slowly tearing up. You killed Kazan. Fear built up tremendously in Daisuke as his father walked towards him. What? Lifting up Daisuke's chin. With his right hand, he had a remote smirk on his face. As he spoke, there were absolutely no shame in his voice. No correction. I raped her and then killed her. The ruby-haired boy shivered as if being soaked with freezing water. Kosuke leaned in to whisper in the latter's ear. And I could do the exact same to you. That calculating smile was still stuck on his face, his eyes never leaving Daisuke's terrified ones. If I were you, I'd consider my deal. Dark had long left, feeling a little more than queasy to the stomach. Leaning against an empty bathroom stall, the wine-colored eyes closed, and only the sound of heavy breathing was heard. Feeling a bit better, the dark-haired male went back to Daisuke's room. Dark was still wondering why Daisuke's father had executed his own wife. When Dark re-arrived, Kosuke was gone and saw that the youngest Niwa was sobbing into his white pillow. Kazan, Gomen. His sorrow-filled cries were slightly muffled by the cushion that his head was buried into. Niwa-kun? Surprised at the sudden intrusion, Daisuke hastily wiped away the tear tracks on his fair skin. Ah, you always see me crying, Daisuke admitted sheepishly, even though his face didn't say very much. Dark was hesitant at first, but saw that Daisuke needed some comfort after that father-to-son conversation. If it had stunned Dark as much as it had, the infantile boy probably had it a great deal more. Without actually inquiring, Dark simply went by instinct and embraced the teen, prepared for the worst. Luckily, Daisuke did put up a small struggle, but after being cooped in the hospital for so long, his strength had depleted. Suddenly, experiencing such a warm and protected feeling in his heart, Daisuke shut his bright eyes and fell into a peaceful slumber, even if it was only for a few minutes. I'm surprised, Dark jumped, but carefully not to alert the sleeping child in his lap. Daisuke fell asleep rather prompt. It's not so easy for him to just trust anyone anymore. Dark didn't have to turn around to know who it was. I expect you to watch over him all the time. Break his heart more than it already is, and I swear I'll hunt you down, Satoshi threatened instantaneously, regretting what he had just said. Dark was bound to discover his emotion towards the redhead now. You. Yup, Satoshi knew it. A faint flush of pink upsurged onto his cheeks. No spoken words were needed. Dark gives sapphire-eyed adolescents a sincere smile. Don't worry, I'll do my best to keep Niwakun cheerful. Where am I? The darkness floating around him wasn't exactly helpful either. Abruptly, Daisuke started to remember unwanted memories. One after another, reminiscences resurfaced, and clear crystals plummeted onto the endless void below him, even if his body did not follow. Kazan. His mother's sweet smile faded into the obscurity that was Daisuke's mind. Kazan. Kazan. The newest pleas grew more desperate as the dream continued. A subtle whimper escaped from Daisuke's pounding lips. Dark and Satoshi, who had been talking to each other like they were somewhat friends now, sprung in shock. Deep intakes of breaths came from the lithe frame, while sweat poured down his face. Resignedly exposing those forlorn rubies, Daisuke weakly grabbed onto the hem of Dark's t-shirt. Dark. Lifting up the younger boy into a hug, Dark spoke into his ear. I'm here. A sad smile formed across Satoshi's unusually indifferent facade. I will always love you, Daisuke. But now I know that you'll never love me back. Glancing at Dark, envy grew within him. You lucky bastard. With those last thoughts on his mind, Satoshi headed out the door, leaving the two behind.